Hi there, my name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we are part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where I take a look at the lectionary text and tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree or the kids' room or the junk drawer or the garage, or you know how we do it. And I am so glad you are here. Thank you so much for your partnership in this ministry and taking a bit of your time to watch this. And I'm hoping the springboard will be helpful, fruitful, will be a good part of your day and help you in your own children's sermon and maybe in your larger sermon. So thanks for being here. This is for 16th Sunday after Pentecost. I was like, had to do my math. I've been gone on vacation for a week in the mountains of Montana, and I'm back, and so I'm getting this up for today. This is for the 16th Sunday after Pentecost, and we are looking at the gospel lesson. It is the story, another story of Lazarus, and it's the story of Lazarus, and there was the rich man, and he dies, and there's that whole chasm happening, and all of that stuff happening. And what I'm focusing on in the springboard for this one, and I've done this before in the past, and I keep coming back because this text talks to me, speaks to me about being named, about being known, about being claimed, about God knowing our name. Because in this text, we don't get the rich man's name. We get Lazarus' name. We get the poor. We get the one that the rich man thinks he can order around, and we don't even know what the rich man's name is. I was reading a text commentary about last week's gospel, and about how in Luke the rich man is always it's not looked at very favorably. Whenever there was a rich man, and it's like yeah. And the rich man's usually has conversations with themselves and all that stuff. But here, this idea is like, tell them to do this for me. So, for the children's sermon, I'm looking at being named and claimed and known. And so I want to talk about nicknames. My nickname, I've got to have a couple of nicknames, and ones that I'd like to share. No, we always talk about it, like when you have a nickname, someone calls you something, and it's like, if it's a derogatory term, it's not a nickname, or at least I don't call it a nickname, because that's in that sense of it's not something that I want to claim, and it's not something that's going to claim me. So a nickname, especially that God gives us. But for me, I have a nickname that my mom calls me, and my mom calls me Tune. And it's not because I sang, it's not because I hummed all the time. I actually had a nickname in high school, which was air guitar, because I would be humming and playing the air guitar and all that stuff, and that's neither here nor there. But the tune is short for Petunia. Now I can tell that you can tell I'm trusting you here, because it's one of those things where Petunia, I love it. I think it's sweet, and I think it's endearing. And my mom shortened it to call it Tune. But it was Petunia, because when I was a baby, she goes, "Oh, he's cute as a petunia," and so I love it. My wife planted petunias 2 years ago, kind of in that, and they're a great flower. I love them. They're very cute, and so it's a sweet nickname, and one that warms my heart. And so I'm going to talk about that nickname. One of the thoughts I had was that if you have a special stuffed animal that you have named, and because it's important to you that you've named it, you could talk about if you why you named, if you have a kid, why you decided to name the child that. And so, our middle names a lot of times have a nod or a claim for a relative that you want to remember. So there was importance. But we, as people of God, we have a nickname. And our nickname is beloved. Our nickname is child of God. We have been claimed in the waters of baptism. We have been named and claimed, and that's a wonderful thing. So all of that about being about those endearing nicknames, and about how when water was poured over the child's head and they were claimed as a child of God, and they were named as beloved, as forgiven, as sent, as renewed, all these things, but to be named child of God, you child of God, you saint, and then Saint John, Saint Uriah, Saint Peter, Saint Colleen, Saint Joey. Those are my kids, and those saints that's a name. That's that nickname that tells us, that speaks volumes. So anyway, so that is the springboard. About nicknames, about names, things we name, things we are endearing, whether it be a stuffed animal, whether it be yourself, a nickname about yourself. And I like that. I especially like a nickname that we might have that we hold on to, and we hold on to closely. Springboard for a larger sermon might be how you can take a name that you've been given, and that has not usually been a positive, and turning it and reclaiming it. One of the words that we're reclaiming is that word evangelical. For the ELCA, which we're part of, Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, but that evangelical, with an entire section that is saying America first, and that evangelical idea that it. Sorry, I mean it's a really bad taste, that Christian nationalism. So in that we reclaim what that word evangelical means. Giving of the good news, and the good news is that Christ's grace is for everyone. So that's a springboard for a larger conversation. But how we've been nicknamed, beloved child of God, Saint John, Saint Josie, Saint Victoria, all of those saints, and you insert your name and your kid's name. So, all right, that's my springboard. That's my, I was going to say, that's my time. Well, anyway, it's like I'm on some type of open mic. All right, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for your partnership in this ministry. You are rocking it. If your congregation forgets to tell you that, because they sometimes do, let me be the one to tell you that you are rocking it, and thank you for the work you're doing for your kids, for your families, and may your week be full of joy and kindness, and may you be gentle on yourself. All right? Peace. We'll see you next week.